Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 17th of November 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the classic tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Wednesday and what's going on energetically. So first we've got the Hermit, ninth card in the Major Arcana. Then we've got the Tower, another Major Arcana card, and this one is about upheaval and change. And finally, the Emperor. Wow. Okay. So the first thing I'm getting is that obviously there are two men here who are very different and there's a conflict between them. So there could be some potential for an argument or someone trying to impose their opinion on you, or someone who is saying, this is what you ought to be doing. You're actually wrong. But you've been contemplating things and questioning as the Hermit does, and you may have this resistance come up that says, well, actually, I think I'm right, so I'm not going to do what you say. And that then obviously can start off a major conflict. So I think if you're going to have to pick a side today, either do I let myself be instructed and informed by other people, or do I listen to my gut? I think a general rule of thumb is that you listen to your own intuition, your gut feeling, what your higher self is telling you. But on this day particularly, the cards are saying really listen to your own insights. They're far more likely to be valuable and accurate than what you're being told to do by outside influences. Plus, you've got your own best interest at heart with other people who are kind of dictating to you. You never really know what the true agenda is. Okay, so let's see what these cards have to say overall. So first, the Hermit is the ninth card in the Major Arcana. 9 in numerology is spirituality and completion. And it talks about this ability that we all have to go within, to ask the big questions, and to things like, what is my life all about? Who am I? What is my role on this planet? And the ability to get concrete answers to those questions that inform you and strengthen your position in life. Because the more you know who you are and what works for you, then you can manifest your circumstances in such a way that they suit you and you know what it is you're trying to create. So the Hermit gives you the ability to meditate and to question what's going on in your life and to question yourself. And most importantly, to get some really good answers as a result of that work. So we've got the Star of David here. The Star of David is two triangles kind of intersecting to create the six-sided star. And the Star of David is a symbol of the triangle pointing up to the sky. The one with the flat bottom is pointing up and saying, give me an answer, please. I'm praying, I'm trying to figure things out. And the other triangle pointing downwards is the answer to that desire. Okay, you've asked the questions, here is your answer. And it's that meeting in the middle that the Star of David is all about. And if you had to put this in numbers, I would give it a 444, the one I use in all my social media things, because it's about trying to listen to what the higher self is doing and then basing your actions on that info that you get. So that's what the Hermit is able to do. That's what you'll be able to do today. So if you have a question, put it out into the universe. Say, give me some clarity or help me with this. And it's very likely that you'll receive something that you can work with in a real world practical way. Finally, he's out in a snowstorm and his legs are all cold. So what I'm getting also is that, you know, if you have a reluctance usually to meditate or to contemplate anything, you don't really want to ask the big questions, then you have the emotional resilience to do something that you don't necessarily like, because you know that there's a good outcome at the end of this contemplation work, this spiritual looking within. Next, we have the Tower. The Tower is the 16th card in the Major Arcana, and it's that part in the Fool's Journey when he's got to a place that's somewhat comfortable and he's followed all the rules, and now suddenly, out of the blue, lightning strikes and blows everything that he's worked so hard for to smithereens, and he goes flying, other people go flying, and it's something that you've depended on for a long time now is no longer dependable. So it could be your best friend who you can always phone and they always pick up and you can tell them what's going on. they may not pick up today. Or it's a job that you've had for 30 years and taken completely for granted, now blows up today and it's coming to an end. It's something that's been a fixture in your life for a long time, and that's become so, it's like part of the furniture. You don't even see it anymore. It could also be your own way of seeing yourself, because we've got the hermit who's contemplating and seeing the truth, that untruths may be blown up today and that you don't have to feel trapped by them anymore. So it could be that you're able to let go of faulty beliefs that you hold about yourself, because these bigger, better answers come in. You then look at your past choices and you say, well, that didn't make sense. Boom. And you blow it up and you let go of it once and for all. So I get the sense that because the hermit doesn't live in a tower, he lives out in nature and he's walking around. So he doesn't have very much use for this. And the fact that we've got the hermit on his mission and then the tower here as the next card means that something is lost which isn't particularly valuable to you. So if it's the 30-year job, then the likelihood is that you didn't really enjoy that job very much if it blows up today. Or if you have this tendency to berate yourself, you can get rid of it today, and it's certainly not something that you enjoyed, even though it may have given you a certain familiar comfort. So if something really dramatic happens and something is no longer accessible to you, like if you have a sponsor and you have had a sponsor for years and suddenly the connection is broken, then don't immediately look at that as a terrible, terrible thing. It's much more likely that something that you no longer need exits your life today, and it exits naturally, and it's not to be mourned or grieved over or lamented. In fact, it's meant to be celebrated, because by removing these structures, it's almost like the hermit becomes youthful again and gets all of his physical vitality back, and it's like the hermit turns into the emperor when all of these rigid structures have been removed out of life, that he's able to, one, now know himself and what works for him, but the passion returns and he says, hey, I'm going to make plans for my future and I'm going to create something. I'm going to build an empire for myself and my family on planet Earth, because I feel right, I feel strong, I feel like I have a vision for this world, and if I'm not going to do it, who else will? So we've got these rams that's associated with Aries, the first sign of the zodiac in astrology, and that's all about making a fresh start and plowing through obstacles and letting nothing stand in your way. The red here is fire, a masculine element, which is about I want to create and build. The armor is an expectation that you will have obstacles that might knock you back, but you're not going to let those stop you. The orb and scepter here is his kind of divinity as a king. You know, back in the day, I think especially in France, the Sun King was said to be, he was chosen specifically by God to rule the country. So God is political back then. And that's the kind of thing about the orb and scepter. It's where a spirit meets the earthly realms. So he's the perfect representative of... because it's all red, okay, we can see that it's nobility, but he's far more interested in doing his own will than he is to listening to the higher self. But because it's like the hermit and the emperor are linked today somewhat, it's because you've done this spiritual work that really you can look at yourself and say, this is a desire I have, therefore it must stem from something divine or something bigger, even though that seems very grand. On this day, that's going to work in your favor because you have done the spiritual work. So if you then become very clear and you desire something very particular, you can rest assured that that's going to lead you somewhere good. He's sitting on a stone throne that's solid, structured. You can build a new structure in your life by tuning in spiritually and then seeing where it drives you, what direction it pushes you towards, and you can replace what's gone with something better. Finally, this looks like a crystal ball, but it also looks like the planet. It looks like planet Earth a little bit. So he does have the world in the palm of his hand, and he can create whatever it is he wants. He is strong. The negativity isn't going to hold him back. So it's simply a process of saying, what don't I need anymore? What is the universe asking me to do? And how can I go do it in the most effective and straightforward way possible. Hooray! Number-wise, 9 and 4 is 13. 13 and 16 is 29. 2 and 9 is 11, and 11 is the master number of service. And we had that recently as well. I'm just going to double check this. 16 and 4 is 20. Yeah, 29. So 11 is saying that be of service to yourself by not clinging on to things that you no longer need. Free yourself, embrace the uncertainty that comes with it, and then set new goals and move in a new direction. And also, if you live your life purpose, you'll be able to serve others in a way that's much more valuable than if you're doing something that has been prescribed to you. If you're doing your own thing today, you can use 100% of your skills and talents and experience. If you're going through the motions or satisfying someone else's needs, you're on their agenda and you're not going to use all your skills and talents and experience. So the main thing, what do you no longer need in your life, and what can you let go of? That's the way to be of service to yourself. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.